Hello, my name is Wim Cambien. I am president of the board of Desert Leaves, the foundation for forests in Drylands. I am sure that you're aware that despite this year's turmoil caused by the COVID-19 virus, climate change is still considered the biggest challenge that our world is facing this century. Global warming is related to greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, mainly carbon dioxide. Reducing emissions of carbon dioxide is a major driver for technological development and changes in our society. However, it looks like mankind will not be able to keep the temperature rise of the planet within safe limits only by reducing emissions. Eliminating carbon dioxide from the air will be crucial to support the efforts to reduce emissions. And tree growth is the only feasible way known today to offset our excess CO2 emissions effectively. Powerful players such as Microsoft, Salesforce, and others have set ambitious goals to offset their greenhouse gas emissions and create new forests. The European Union has announced a roadmap for planting at least 3 billion additional trees in the EU by 2030. The White House has expressed its support for the 1 trillion tree initiative. In a world that is home to 8 billion people, finding space for planting forests is not an easy task. Fertile lands with trees on them are more often converted into cropland for feeding ever more mouths than left to grow as forests. Only in scarcely populated areas of the world, massive trees plantations will not enter into conflict with more urgent needs of humans. Those areas exist. Some are already covered with huge forests, such as the Amazon, Canada, and Siberia. But other deserted areas have much less vegetation because the scarce rainfall limits tree growth. These are called drylands. It is estimated that nearly 2 billion hectares of potential forest land exists in areas that are now degraded, dominated by sparse vegetation, grasslands, and degraded bare soils. Covering this surface with trees, or even just a tiny part of it, could make a huge difference to cool the planet. Moreover, growing trees in drylands is a strategy to fight desertification, to improve water availability, to enhance biodiversity, to help foster local employment, to cool cities and regions, and to create beautiful landscapes. However, creating new forests in drylands is not an easy task. It's challenging. Many initiatives to plant trees, from small to very large scale, have failed, resulting in no environmental benefit at all, important sunk costs, and frustrated volunteers. The challenges of planting trees in drylands are related to, essentially, the lack of water. The sprouts are sensitive to drought in their first years. Cattle looking for scarce leaves may graze the fresh green parts. Farmers may plow the good lands to grow other crops. Sometimes forestation is only viable with active irrigation. It requires expertise, good planning, and active follow-up to make forestation projects in drylands successful. But the good news is, when done well, forestation is possible in virtually any environment and at any scale. There is something else. Many of the efforts in forestation, even the successful ones, are offset by the loss of existing drylands to natural disasters. Last year, about 84,000 hectares of dry woodland burned in Spain, 2 million in the United States, another 2 million in Bolivia, 18 million in Australia. Global climate change, the demographic pressure on forests, and the lack of adequate forest management make forests in drylands anywhere in the world vulnerable to drought and wildfires. It will help little to plant new trees if fire converts the carbon that was captured in the trees back into carbon dioxide. Therefore, forest management in drylands is just as important as forestation. On October 27th, Desert Leaves and the Universidad Politécnica de Valencia will hold a symposium with top speakers from Europe, Africa, the Middle East, China, and Australia. This online symposium is a must for anyone who wants to know more about forestation and forest preservation in drylands. Presentations will be given by top academics, government officials, and businessmen, all professionally active in the field of forestation in drylands. Participants will be able to increase their knowledge about forests in drylands, enter in our community of experts, volunteers, and sponsors, and ultimately contribute to increasing sustainable forests. Check out our website, desertleaves.org, to learn more about the symposium. We look forward to welcoming you there.